Hello folks, Typhon Carter here, and I bring to you DPP Revival Ubers Open. This is round 6 action between Stone Cold, also known as Dave, and The Strap, going by Sky Solo. So, Stone Cold, I've done a series covering him before, and for The Strap, I believe these two actually played back in BKC's original DPP Ubers Invitational many years ago. I think it's actually still up on his YouTube. Gonna have to check that out at some point. But anyways, neither player at the risk of being eliminated, as this is a winner's side, winner's bracket matchup, and both players have been doing pretty well for themselves. But that being said though, let's jump right into this. So we got Dialga into a 4E lead, and Dialga threatening a flamethrower, but 4E should get T-Spikes up pretty comfortably, and that will do exactly that. And Ho-Oh is going to come in, absorb this flamethrower, and perhaps fire off a Sacred Fire, so perhaps a Sun offense of sorts. Gonna get the sub up here right as rocks go up, so that's an offensive rocks Dialga. Not the most common set, but a pretty cool set nonetheless to see on lead. It's probably Lumberry too for that Darkrai lead matchup. And Tyranitar's gonna come in here, try to use Sand to limit the Ho-Oh's longevity, try to neutralize its lefty's recovery, but those toxic spikes are gonna be quite the nuisance. And already I would not love to be in the Straps' position. Okay, that came out weird, but Strap telling Stone Cold that he's not High Lord. Yeah, so we got a little bit of banter going on here, and Dialga is going to come in on Stone Cold's Dialga, and our Sphere going to do a decent amount of damage. So both players got to trade down here, and Ho-Oh's got to come in. Dave trying to check for a possible Custap, but instead that Ho-Oh is going to go down swinging. And Groudon is going to be the entry point. Makes sense if you have Ho-Oh 4E, pretty much a staple to expect Groudon, and that is probably a bulky SD Groudon, or bulky double dance Groudon, I should say. And oh, that crit 100% matters, because most Groudons will live that. And Dialga is going to be able to force a revenge kill on Giratina, but Sky Solo, or the Strap, is going to come in and absorb that. And Thunder is going to take care of this Tyranitar for now, but Superpower is probably going to KO this. It would do just that, and that is probably a CB Tar, because that's usually what you would run. And Stone Cold, knowing this, can safely go into Giratina, doesn't want to have to fear, you know, a Custap. But Chow Sneaks here just got focused on getting chip damage on this Latias, and what is Dave's last here is Mewtwo, so it's probably CM Mewtwo, like CM recover 2 attacks Mewtwo. This Bronzong could friend an explosion here, unless Dave has Flamethrower, perhaps. Flamethrower Burn, that's one way you could get out of this. Recovers here, Trick Rooms, interesting. And going to explode here, and does not quite kill, and Dave is going to be able to recover here. Kyogre is going to come in here, and it should safely get the KO here, barring anything too... Wait, what? Whoa, that is... Oh, that's a Scarf Kyogre. Did the Strap... Strap saying that he might have potentially let this game get away from him. And I'm inclined to agree, but Stone Cold's got to recover here, and Surf should be able to finish the job here. So the Strap almost let that get away from him. And he is going to be up 1-0, so he's going to take game 1, and he will be having match point. That was an interesting game. Some interesting maneuvering from both sides. I think, yeah, I kind of get some of the decisions Dave made, you know, like letting the Ho-Oh go, trying to scout for Custap, you know, and then the Dialga set's pretty cool. EQ Giratina, you know, and then you got Mewtwo, Groudon, that kind of thing. Always good to see. But we have a game 2, and again, this is a double header, I should say, if I haven't said that already, but you can probably tell by video length when you click on this. But anyways, enough of that though. We got Deoxys speed into a 4 elite, so this Dave bringing out the Fortress again, and 4E not gonna be able to throw out toxic spikes, but Deoxys just got extreme speed there to break the sash if it has it, and we see a rapid spin go off. So that Deoxys, if it had you know, sash spin, is officially broken. But rapid spin's here. Mewtwo, oh, this is Life Orb. And then Fire Blast here. Dave has to be careful of getting exploded on. And I suspect that the last... Okay, Wild Effect... Oh, this is the Shrang team. The question is... so usually you're gonna see Wild Effect, you're gonna see Grout... sorry, you're gonna see Rayquaza, you're gonna see Groudon, and then the last is a question of, is it Scizor, is it Darkrai, or is it Tyranitar? That's usually the 3 main variations that I know of Walbray for that 6 slot. And Blissey burned, but it should be able... Okay, got aromatherapy here, so okay, it's a Scizor variation of this team. Again, this is like... I mean, it's a good team, but like one of the things I will say is that it's definitely one of the more high maintenance teams to pilot, I'd say, because like your room for error is not that high. You really have to be on point with your Mewtwo clicks. But then the problem that Walbray runs into, and assuming that Dave is running some variation of Sunstall, is that one, even if you boom the Blissey with Mewtwo, the thing is it doesn't fully open up the rest of your game plan. But Wildfit here got Encore, try to ensure that he will get counter damage with the Wop, locking it into S-Toss, and then something that the Strap can also do. Counter once, and then what I would do here, probably set up a Safeguard. I try to set up Safeguard here before you go down, but instead gonna go Scizor. Interesting. Although, actually no, he would have been roared out. So this is kind of a tough matchup for the Strap to overcome, because like one, yeah, sure you can pivot into a 4-8, but then yeah, you see the exact problem here, and I think the Strap, he should have used Safeguard at some point. So that kind of feels like a missed opportunity in that sense. Anyways, Fire Blast is here. I mean, if you're gonna explode, you're probably gonna have to do it now. Yeah, not gonna happen. Softball is here. It should live a superpower, but oh, okay, no. My bad roll, but the Blissey does go down, so surprised to see him let that go. But at the very least, you are gonna get hazards up. So you are getting guaranteed value, which is super nice. Mewtwo's probably gonna get another Fire Blast off, but could also Ice Beam into an incoming Giratina altered. That's what I would probably suspect. Okay, yep, there it is. What's the click here? Fire Blast is here, yeah. Oh, I guess the burn at the very least, but Poison means that it's gonna go down pretty much instantly. And Deoxys speed, you're gonna go into that. Sure. Oh, I see what he's doing. He's gonna try to get hazards up, and then what's gonna happen is that Strap's going to, if the 4E comes in and tries to spin, gonna use Mewtwo as a sacrificial piece, and then you would threaten with either Rayquaza or Double Dance Groudon. So, but probably Rayquaza. So, okay, yep, there's the Mewtwo sacrifice. 4E's probably gonna try to spin. Okay, yep, does not get off. Dave, I probably would have just gotten our layer of spikes up, but like not the end of the world. Okay, Groudon's gonna come in. That T-Spikes is gonna be a real headache though. Fire Punch is here. Yeah, Dave has no problem letting this go, because again, Groudon's on a limited timer. You have Giratina Alter, you can protect stall this out, and also you have your own Groudon, which can comfortably take whatever Life Orb Rock Polish Groudon throws at it. And this game, as far as win paths go, Rayquaza is pretty much the Straps' best win path. And again, like Dave knows the last two, right? He's played this tier longer than some of you have been alive. And that's just, and then yeah, gotta get the Dragon Pulse before it goes down, so Dave ensuring that he gets some mileage out of it. And again, the Wildfet's also like super low. I think it, no, it doesn't quite die, but like whatever comes in is gonna get outsped. Groudon comes in. Yep, that's a perfectly fine mid-ground play because you cover just about everything. You covered a Rayquaza entry because you force Rayquaza to actually have to KO you. And then, yeah, like this is perfectly fine mid-ground. Dialga's come in here. That is a Scarf Dialga. The last tier could be Crest. That's usually if this is Eclipse, but it might not be. Oh, okay, no, it's Bulk Up, yeah. Oh wait, no, the lefty showed. What am I doing? It is quite late at night, so excuse me if I am, you know, not on point, but anyways, no excuses though. I promise, but superpowers here, gotta take out the Groudon, but Dialga should be able to set up on this, especially because the Scissors Mass 1, Dialga is quite bulky. Even with the hazard damage, it's like, what are you gonna do? Because the Scissors go down in the next entry, so you can't even try to Wobbuffet this safely. And then not to mention that because it is physical, that also means the Dialga, you know, like, is kind of reinforcing itself against the last Pokemon, Rayquaza. Superpowers here again, 26%, and again, like, you also see the power of pressure really kicking in over time here. Yep, there's the rest. And last superpower, no crit. So, Stone Cold or Dave able to avoid some bad luck here. Although it seems like that's what he's been getting most days, but Sleep Talks here and bulks up again, and this Scizor will struggle. And then, yep, there's the self KO. What you gonna do here? You could try to go Wobbuffet, but if Stone Cold rolls a attack, then you know. Okay, yeah. Tries to avoid getting Encored there, because if you get Encored, then you're in a really bad spot. And then wakes up here. Sleep Talks again, and again, Encore lasts like 5 to 7 turns, so if Stone Cold's doing this, he has to have something for Ray. Like, what's gonna happen is he's probably gonna swap his Scarfer into Rayquaza, or Lugia. Yeah, Lugia works too. It can eat one hit from Rayquaza pretty comfortably. There's the SD. Lugia's always gonna be faster than his Rayquaza, and Ice Beam will most certainly KO it unless Extreme Speed randomly crits, but not gonna happen. And Stone Cold is going to be able to tie this up 1-1. So, again, nicely played from Dave. A fantastic matchup against Wobray here with his Sunstall. But more importantly, he was able to capitalize on the advantages that he did have throughout this game. And you really see the issue of how something like offensive Mewtwo, sometimes, like, even if you explode it on the Blissey, the T-Spikes was a huge problem. Like, yeah, you could use Wobbuffet as an enabler, but then you also didn't really have a good way to deal with Lugia in particular. Yeah, sure, there's Scizor, but again, and then Groudon can't quite break Lugia, and then Rayquaza was SD, not DD, so like your chance of breaking Lugia was like also a uphill battle. But it is what it is. But again, it's a best of 3. We gotta go game 3. And here we are. Then we got Dialga lead into a Darkrai lead. Strap's gonna want to swap up. Does not want to sleep this because Dialga on lead almost certainly carries Lum. And I really don't know about that. Gets away with that. And okay, gets Draco'd. Yeah, incredibly brave from the Strap to do that. I guess he tried to make a read that Stone Cold was going to stay in and greed rocks and then pop the Lum, and then you get to sleep again. But then you see the 4. Yeah, Dave brought the L 3 times, but you see the issue though is that, like, even if he got the sleep off, it's like, okay, well, that 4 is a pain in the neck. You better have a ghost. Oh, it's a mixed ray on Straps' end, and Bronzong makes sense because usually Bronzong has to kind of go God mode in this tier, or at least in regular Ubers, to hold everything off. And Rayquaza going to come in here on this Latias, but it's going to be forced out. tries to use it to draw the minus Draco Meteor drop, but Thunder Waves again, and that is extremely annoying on for Straps' team to deal with. And T-Wave's nice because you can disable, like, you know, the Giratina Origins, the Rayquazas, like a lot of the floaters, and oh, nice spin there from Dave. But that Rayquaza, yeah, I don't know about that, because I feel like if you're Strap, like, you only have one attack. 4E in no world should ever stay in, especially as long as that Bronzong's alive. So to me, like, I feel like you need to Draco there, because like, again, you only have one attack, you're gonna die the next turn anyways, you might as well go out swinging, and either way you would still get a ton of damage. So that feels like a missed opportunity for Strap, but T-Wave's there. Dialga will get the KO on Latias, but oh, it's a Life Orb Dialga. That's interesting. It's probably a mixed Dialga for that matter, but that mixed Dialga when it's paralyzed is gonna be a problem unless this Bronzong has Trick Room or something. Then that could actually... oh, okay, there is the Trick Room, that Parrot Dialga. Now the Strap can kind of use it in his favor. Explodes there, nice entry from Dave to kind of cover that play up. And Kyogre is going to come in here, and oh, that's interesting, but it has to be, you better be careful getting exploded on, but not gonna happen. But 4E actually shows Toxic, so Toxic is semi-common, but it's not like so common. Toxic Spikes plus T-Spikes, interesting combo. You actually don't see that nearly as often, because usually you want to run, like, you know, Spikes plus T-Spikes, and then, you know, Rapid Spin, and either like something like Garrow Ball or Payback, for example. But I suppose you could fit, or Explosion for that matter. Not something you see often, so Groudon's gonna come in here. 2 turns of Trick Room left. And yeah, Dave brought that around so that he can swap around. Oh gee, that was a mouthful, but Dialga is going to be able to do a significant amount to this Kyogre. Kyogre should go down here and will do just that. Groudon's gonna come in on his pair Dialga, and now, yeah, that Thunder Wave on Latias coming in real handy. And oh, Dialga's got Trick Room again, but oh, it has 1 attack left. What's Dave gonna do? Oh, full Para's there. And oh, tried to go for an over predict there, but that miss is actually really bad because you're losing so many turns. And Dave, with zero care in the world, knows that, hey, look, the 4E has done its jobs, especially when Strap is down to 1 Pokemon left. And this 4E, what's it gonna do? Rapid Spins, yep, just doing that just to kill turns and just use it as a sack piece, because the Palkia is not a perma timer anyways. And the longer this Palkia stays around, I don't know about that. I think Strapcat just did that because he recognized that the game was lost anyways, and Dave is going to win this series 2-1, and he will skip to round 8, so he will remain in winner's bracket, and Strap will remain be sent down to loser's bracket, where he's gonna have to fight for his tournament life. And yeah, so pretty cool series, but that is not the last series this video. Instead, we have one more series, because who doesn't want more gaming? Anyways, second series of the day, we got Richardmilleplain, who I actually covered before in the second video of this tournament. And we have Splendid Silver Star going by. Where's BKC's new video? Splendid Silver Star, a Chinese player, and a pretty good Chinese player to my knowledge, although I think the Chinese player base tends to share a lot of builds together, so, you know, there's that. But yeah, that is a great question. When is Kevin's next video? You know, Kevin or PKC, he told me he has not watched Infernal Affairs, which is a bit of a shame. He should do a review on that sometime soon, but not the main point though. We have a series to cover. So Tentacruel lead into a Tyranitar lead. Tentacruel probably just gonna get T-Spikes up, and Tyranitar is going to pay back with Crunch. Payback is the move here, and Hydro Pumps there, breaks the Sash. question is this Lum or Custaptar? But T-Tar instead going to just get rocks up right as Kyogre gets that Calm Mind up. And now this Kyogre looks like a huge headache. And yeah, there's the Palkia. Sure, it can kind of soft check the... And whoa. Wait, what? What? Is this Quick Claw? Or is this Palkia like Trick Room? A Trick Room abuser? What? I mean, it got the para, but... Okay, either... Okay, no, it's not Quick Claw. What am I saying? Okay, no, that's just a really slow Palkia. It's a Trick Room Dialga. Sorry, guys. I was like, hold on. I was like, hold on now. Thunder, Rocks, and then Bronzong will probably get EQ off to get some chip damage off on this Dialga. Oh, instead gets full para. Not what Silver Star wants to see here. So is quickly a 4-4 game. And if we see a Ludicolo actually a fantastic Kyogre check in this format. And then you see Rain Dish, and yeah, the big reason you run Rain Dish is because Leech Seed is just incredibly annoying. And then when you factor in Rain Dish plus Leech Seed recovery, it's like you're getting like 30% back each turn. Yep, there's the Leech Seed into Dialga. Richard is just probably trying to punch this thing down, play for hacks, but that's not gonna happen. Kyogre's going to be able to... Okay, gets a sub off at the very least for Silver Star, but that is bad news for Richard because you're just gonna get Leech Seed all day. That does not miss, unfortunately. So yeah, like at this, and then yeah, you factor in Sub Protect. Yeah, only in Ubers could I say it with a straight face that Ludicolo is truly a reliable Kyogre check. And could unironically 1v1 a Kyogre unless this is Rest Talk. But even if it's Rest Talk, this Ludicolo can kind of just sit around, kind of, you know, just annoy you in many ways. Is this Ludicolo showing its full moveset? No, it's probably Ice Beam or Toxic. Probably Ice Beam though, I would imagine, because you really want to be able to actually touch the dragons. Well, Toxic's also valid, I suppose, because you're running T-Spikes. I guess if you want to hit like Giratina, actually no, Leech Seed's good enough though, so. But Thunder is, yeah, Ludicolo just completely stonewalling this, and then Dialga now coming right back in. Dragon Pulses, oh, gets a para. That is a Scarf Dialga, I am 99% sure. And then there's gotta be a Bronzong in the back if you're gonna be running like a slow Palkia that's slower than like a CM Kyogre. Then my other guess would be, oh man, that is not a great sign. Leech Seed's there and full paras. So, but EQ, yeah, you can see how bad Bronzong's damage output in Ubers is. It's already kind of mid in DPP OU, so in a higher power level format, not surprised. EQ's there, but Giratina probably gonna be able to fire a Thunder off. Gets a Will-O-Wisp instead, which works out just as well, to be honest. And Kyogre's gonna be sacrificed to his Dialga, and does not look like Richard has another reliable water setter in the back. I'd be surprised if the last is Groudon, because that's a bit too grounded. And again, it could be a Laddie twin, for all I know, but I'm getting into a more speculative stuff. Protects here, Rain Dish, and then what's gonna happen here? Protects again, trying to block the explosion, does exactly that. Kind of a tough spot, just a terrible matchup to run into if you're Richard, but that's the game we play. Draco's here, not even enough to prevent a sub from going up. That could have been a roll. And then Protects here, and this Dialga's gonna go down. What's the last here? Let's see, I mean, you gotta have speed control. Okay, the last was Darkrai, that my first guess. And it's a Lum Darkrai. Dark Pulses here does not look like it has sub. If it had sub, this would have been really good for Richard, but that is not the case here. Instead, it's gonna get leech seeded here. And now you just gotta not get unlucky, as they'd say. Yep, there's the Ice Beam trying to force more damage. Silver Star needs to avoid a full para here. And then he could safely... Oh, that is not what you want to see. Nasty plot there, and oh, it finally gets full para'd, and that is probably the worst timing possible. But Mewtwo is going to close things out here. And Silver Star is going to go up 1-0 and take game 1. So, yeah, really rough matchup for Richard. Because, like, Ludicolo, again, very underrated sometimes. And it is times like these where, you know, Ludicolo can just sometimes teabag teams. And we kind of see it here where, you know, mind you, the Ludicolo was para too, right? And like Leech Seed is just such a powerful progress tool in DPP, especially with like how when you look at a lot of Pokemon use, it's like your Leech Seed immunes goes down to the Shaman Sky, which not exactly a paragon of defense, right? And then, you know, some fringe Sun abusers like Victory Bell, Shift Tree, you know, that kind of stuff. But regardless, though, this was a interesting game 1, but we have a game 2. So let's jump right in here. Rayquaza into a Tyranitar lead. This is probably Mixed Ray with Sash. Could also be a Lumberry for Darkrai lead. Oh, huge Stone Edge miss, so we will not find out today. But Outrageous here into Bronzong. Not gonna get... Okay, gets the Confuse here. Popped... Okay, it was a Lumberry, so that Stone Edge miss actually matters a lot. And we see a Trick Room from Silver Star here. And oh, nice Toxic. Might even get an Explosion off now if you're gonna read that. No, just gotta stay in. Richard's got no fear here. He's got nothing to fear and goes into opposing Groudon. Opposing Groudon's gonna get rocks up here. It's probably support Groudon with like Spadef Invest. And Giratina into this Tyranitar dies a Hidden Power Fire. Trick Room luckily expires, so Richard says, oh, wait. Oh, that is a really slow Giratina, or a very fast... Oh, it's a Scarf T-Tar, perhaps. Yeah, that's the only explanation I got. Like, either that's a 243 T-Tar into a really slow Giratina, or a lead Scarf Tar, which wouldn't be unheard of, I suppose. I think one of the old stalls runs that, but we see a Garchomp on Silver Star's end, and then now we see Groudon. EQ's here, and Richards' Groudon slowly getting worn down. Just try to spread as much damage as possible, but going to save that as a sack piece. Uses the Giratina Origin to come into this Groudon. Go friend the Draco Meteor. But going to let a Hidden Power Fire pop, which is nicely done on Richard's end. And oh, huge Draco miss trying to predict a switch. Instead, eat a Toxic to the face, and that is not what you want to see. Tries to Draco again, trying to predict a switch, but again, just not going to see it. Dialga's going to come in here. That is probably a mixed Dialga. And Dialga Fire Blast is here. Going to take care of that. Does not want to commit to Outrage or Draco Meteor, but Groudon, not what you want to see. EQ's here. It should have one more turn where it's alive, but then it's going to go down the next turn. But Bronzong is luckily faster because of Trick Room, and Trick Room runs out just as I say that. And E-Speeds here is going to get rid of that 8% Bronzong. And we see this could be a Scarf Chomp, this could be a Subsalic Chomp. But this looks like a Scarf Chomp from how Silver Star's playing this. And Outrageous here, gotta do 42%. But Dialga on Richards' end is going to get the job done. This could be sub bulk up or a bulk up Rust Talk. Either is plausible. We see a freaking Jump Bluff. Oh, Jump Bluff's actually kind of annoying in this format. It's a very fringe pick, by the way. But what I will say is that, like, you know, Chlorophyll boosted sleep is incredibly tough to deal with. And then on, I mean, Darkrai's sleep is already bad enough to deal with. Now imagine dealing with Jumpluff, which now has double speed. So that means, and then the other crazy thing, I think, actually no, I'm gonna actually have to, somebody's got to fact check me on this, but oh wait, no. But I'm pretty sure modest or like neutral max speed Jumpluff is still faster than Ray. I'm gonna have to double check that. I'm gonna have to fact check that. But what's gonna happen here is that Jumpluff, regardless of whether there's a Ray present or not, gonna be able to get sleep off. Probably gonna do sub leech shenanigans, and then just be really annoying. Oh yeah, Encore too. Sleep powder Encore, sub leech. That is probably the set. And yeah, that's kind of great. And yeah, I mean, you know, when you have this perma weather dynamic in Ubers, you can kind of see the dynamics of how weather boosters can carve its own place out, no matter how bad, right? And look at those leech seeds just kind of kicking in over time. And yeah, no, yeah, pretty sure the Dialga's just getting a ton of health back, and oh, bulk up too for that matter. Not really what Silver Star wanted to see today. And just go bulk up again into a Lava Plume. EQ. Oh, that is a bad. That is not what Richard wants to see. But Jumpluff can still make some magic happen, as we'd say. And yeah, pretty sure Jumpluff at neutral speed hits 319. So yeah, you could actually run neutral speed and greed on maximize bulk, I guess. Or like run a bulk boosting nature, which would be valid. And the last is Ho-Oh, which is just what the doctor ordered, as Ho-Oh's gonna get back to 69% health, and Sacred Fire is there. And this Ho-Oh looks really nasty in this end game. Dialga will probably do a lot, but nope, not even gonna have the chance to do that. And Silver Star's gonna forfeit here, because Draco would not have been able to kill Ho-Oh unless there was a crit involved. But Richard is going to tie this up 1-1. So yeah, very interesting game, very interesting brings. You know, seeing a Jumpluff you know, actually play a pivotal role going up against, you know, the literal god of time, a weather titan. I don't know what you want to call, identify Groudon as, like what, a weather trio titans, or I don't know, man. My point is that, like, you know, speed boosting abilities are one hell of a drug. Anyways, we have a game free. They're tied up 1-1. Whoever wins here is going to, I don't think either player is actually at risk of being eliminated, but Deoxys speed here is going to get spikes up and into a fling, and yeah, fling Groudon lead. Oh, I think I might notice 6 here. Stealth Rocks here, Groudon lead. Tentacruel, oh no, it's not the 6 I was thinking of, but Tentacruel should be able to get a spin off, but instead got prioritized the T-spikes. And yeah, once again, you see how pitiful Bronzong's damage output is in a format built with a steroid boosted users, for lack of a better word. Heatran is going to come in here, so it's a Sun Fat at the very least. And Heatran going to probably be, I mean, you gotta have an opposing Groudon check, right, on this team, so probably like a Giratina Origin would be really feasible here. And you also need a soft Kyogre check, so something like a Lati Twin would be a fantastic fit here. Okay, yeah, there is in fact a Giratina Origin, and huge Hydro dodge there, avoiding unnecessary chip damage because now you're out of Ice Beam KO range. Drops a Draco there, so this Giratina might not have Thunder. Gotta show Outrage instead, interestingly enough, and oh, Grass Knot. Oh, I guess that makes sense, Grass Knot and Bronzong, because a lot of times Bronzong is kind of helpless against setup Groudon, or like risk being setup fodder, so Grass Knot is one way to compensate for it. And you also hit Kyogre too, that's another big perk. Giratina is going to be confused here, probably good. Oh, okay, not able to get the Shell Sneak off, which is a little bit unfortunate, because I'm sure Silver Star would have wanted to have a little bit extra chip damage, but this does open up a free entry point for Groudon. Groudon tries to predict the EQ, instead gonna get roared out into a Dialga. This Dialga could be Scarf. And yep, it is, based on no item being shown. Draco's there. I mean, yeah, there's a speed control, it makes sense. And this Kyogre will go down as long as Draco doesn't miss, which it does not. And now this Dialga is at -4, and Kabutops is shown as one of Richard's last. Kabutops here could be a huge threat, but this Groudon is going to get rid of that water, and it will make a Sundeep Perma Water, so Swift Swim's going to be disabled. And Kabutops KOs the Groudon, but this lets Tentacruel get a free spin off. Clears up all the hazards which Silver Star desperately needs. Last is probably a Laddie Twin, or Gliscor, sure. Toxic's here. So usually Gliscor really fringe pick, but I suppose on this team it makes sense because you need to have a second EQ immune. What Gliscor does usually in Ubers, it can do some baton pass stuff, but I imagine it's like sub-tox on this squad, and they could just be super annoying. Oh, there's the Heatran, but you gotta have a Sleep Sack, probably gonna be a Dialga. Richard knows this and will probably sack the Kabutops to Dialga since you can't get Rain back up anyways, and Dialga is going to pop its Sleep Talk. Lance Thunder, interesting. Oh, that is a crazy call to get. That is like also mildly bad RNG, but it worked out. But last Pokemon Dialga versus the world, but Heatran should comfortably wall this. Nasty Plots here. Lava Plumes is he gets the burn. That's gonna do it because it has Protect. And Splendid Silver Star's gonna win the series 2-1. There was actually quite a few ways. Richard had a very small window to actually get out of that awful situation. For one, because again, if you're staying in, if you have Focus Blast and you land at on Heatran +2, like you're in a great spot. And then the other thing is that Dialga, actually no, you would still have to ideally you flinch down to Gliscor, so that's the other thing you would need to happen. And then the other thing that Richard would have needed was Silver Star to either click Sleep Talk, hope that the Dialga does not get a favorable roll, and then calls Thunder into Sun and then misses, or misses a Draco somehow, right? Like that's kind of, Richard's is only out, but that burn pretty much killed any chance of him potentially coming back. And it is what it is. That's the game we play. Congratulations to Silver Star for winning this series, and he is going to move on. And again, I repeat, this was winner's bracket, so Richard, this will not be the last of Richard in this tournament, and he's gonna be sent down to loser's bracket, but he should be all right. Anyways, that being said though, if you guys enjoyed these double headers, like, comment, subscribe, and consider donating to DPP Revival Ubers' prize pool, and I will see you guys next time.